All right, we're back again this week. This is our 7th draft. This week we are going to focus on top villains. Top villains. So they can be from movies, TV shows, Disney movies, sports, whatever. Did I say something funny, Cutter?
No. It's Ricky. Keep going.
Okay. So that's going to be our draft tonight. We have already decided we are not going to pick what we consider terrible human beings. So there's a difference between a villain and just a terrible human being like Adolf Hitler or Satan himself or anyone like that, even though they are definitely top of the list of a villain. We are not going to pick those. We don't want to glorify their just terrible natures that they have. So stick to.
We don't want to uplift them.
Yeah.
So no ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
No ex-girlfriends.
All right. So tonight's order will be, I got the first pick. We do a random order each week. So I get the first pick. Ricky will be second. John, who is our guest this week. Thanks for joining, John. Hunter is fourth and Tate is fifth. And then real quick before we jump in, last week's results, we did top restaurants in the Tri-Cities. And somehow I pulled out the win. I was D in the graphic, if you saw that last week. So I had Southern Craft, the Bagel Exchange, Label, Stir Fry, Angry Italian, and J. Frank. Tate came in second with 30% of the votes. Ben was our guest. He had 23%. And then Ricky, after he won the last week, he comes in last place this week with 11 or 13% of the votes. So, all right. So we are going to jump in here to our first pick. So I had the first pick here in the draft. I think, there's so many good ones, but I'm going to go a movie villain to start us off here. I feel like the greatest villain from, if you think about superhero movies or action movies, I think he's the best one. There's been many reiterations of him. I got to go with the Joker. So you go back to 1989 with the original Batman movie. Great Joker there. Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight was good. And then most recently in the actual movie, The Joker was phenomenal in that one too. So I feel like he's got to be the number. There's probably one or two or three guys that could be the number one pick, but I feel like he's got to be one of those top three. So personally, I'm a big fan of Batman, so I had to go with the Joker as the first pick.
Is Heath Ledger your favorite Joker?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best one of them all. But I'm a big fan of the was it like the '60s version, the TV show.
Yeah, me too.
That was a good.
I love
Joker.
those with Adam West and all that.
Yeah, Adam West. Yeah, what was the guy's name? I can't think of the guy's name.
Blank too. Yeah,
Caesar something was his name. But yeah, so I got to go with the Joker there. Tate, what do you think? Is that a good first pick or?
Yeah, that's one of the top 2-3 that's going to come to everybody's mind when you think of villain. So yeah, it's a home run first pick. So you can't go wrong with it.
All right, cool. All right, Ricky, you're up next.
All right. So personally, that would have been my number one overall, but I honestly feel like if you're going with a number one overall pick, there's only two clear-cut options. The other one besides the Joker would be from movies that pretty much everybody has known. Series, Darth Vader.
Yeah. Dang it.
Darth Vader as my pick there.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Already Ricky.
John, I know you're a big Star Wars fan. You
Yep.
mad about that pick?
Yeah, I'm pretty mad. That was my first pick.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't feel like there's any way that wasn't coming off the first couple picks there. So
In this draft, in my opinion, you definitely want literally that. I mean, that was my first two. That was probably everybody. Yeah. I mean, everybody had those in their top two or three.
Yeah. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I couldn't have picked it. I've not seen one Star Wars movie, but I definitely, for sure, it's got to be still a top two pick, even if I wasn't going to pick them. So, all right, good pick, Roop. All right, John, you're up next.
Well, since he stole my thunder, you know what I'm going to have to go with on this one, because I'm the only one around here that likes him. Everyone else hates him, and it makes it fun, especially come February and Super Bowl time. So my number one, probably sports villain of all time, is Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, the Patriots as a group, they are the people that everyone loves to hate.
Yeah.
And hates to love.
Yeah.
The Patriots.
Show us your shirt there, John.
Yep. Hold on.
So, John being
it.
the big Patriots fan, I figured that would be one of your top picks. So, and I agree. No other franchise probably more people love to hate than the Brady Belichick years of the Patriots. I mean, they were so good. I mean, you either love them or you hate them. So,
I don't know. Hunter and I might have something to say about that, and Root too. With the Yankees.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've definitely got that on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good pick, John. All right, Hunter, you're up next.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go to the movie route as well. I mean, the first two picks in this draft were definitely the first two picks on my board. I was hoping I would get one of the first two picks, and obviously I didn't. I'm going to go. It's a horror movie. It puts fear in children all across the world. I'm going to go with Pennywise the Clown as my first round pick. I mean, heck, he eats little kids, so I mean, that's scary in itself. Those jaws widen up. So for all the way from Tim Curry from the beginning in 1990 and the older It Clown to even the latest one's really, really good. So I think they're good movies too. If you haven't even seen them, I think they're just good movies in general. And but yeah, I would put that as my first round pick villain.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick as well. I've not seen the movies. I mean, of course, I know all about them, but I've not seen them. But I mean, back when I guess it was the last one that came out, and like there was all these clowns going around and actually terrifying people, and
yeah,
I mean
that and the little bitty red balloons. I mean, you see those little red balloons, and if you know anything about it, it's like boom, that's the first thing that comes to your mind and stuff. So. Yeah. So it's one of those things where anybody could walk around with like a red balloon and it's what it is. So it's one of those iconic things too.
Yeah. Roop, what do you think? You a fan of Pennywise the Clown?
Oh yeah, that's a very good pick. He was definitely on my list. I'm curious, Hunter, do you like the newer movies better than the older ones, or you like them about the same?
I honestly like them about the same. I love the classics and all that stuff, but I thought the new one was really, really good, and it had a little bit of a Stranger Things feel to it as well. Like it may have been with the because it had a couple or one of the actors that was in Stranger Things, but it had that 1980s vibe to it and stuff. And I love stuff like that anyway. Yeah. So
fun fact, if nobody knew this, a boy in that movie, the new It movies, is actually from Bluff City.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He's like one of the main characters in the new It movies. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. All right, Tate, you got two picks here, back-to-back picks in our snake draft. What's it going to be in your first pick?
All right, so obviously, 1 and 2 on my list, Joker, Darth Vader. So those are the two everybody knows. But another one is going to come from a same movie as the Joker. And this is the person that really got to Batman, broke his back, in fact. One of his arch nemesis, and I'm going to go with Bane from Batman.
Good pick.
Yeah, I definitely a good pick. I think that's the second best villain in all of Batman series, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I there's agree. So many good villains that have fought Batman over the years, but Bane and the Joker, I think, are the two best, in my opinion, at least. And that was a great movie that he was in too. What was the name of that one? Was that
Dark Knight Rises?
The Dark Knight Rises, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I love that. That's good.
All right, good pick. We should have done this draft right before Halloween. All these horror movies are going to get picked and stuff.
Right, yeah, that'd been good.
But at least Ricky's bringing the Christmas spirit with the hat, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, Tate, second pick here. You get back-to-back picks.
Next one is going to be, and this one is another villain that's kind of newer. I guess not newer, probably from maybe the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, but very popular. Everyone knows this villain, whether you've seen the movies, read the books, just once you hear the name, you kind of know they go hand in hand. But I'm going to take Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Okay. Never
That
seen
would be
Harry
popular.
Potter, but I know you're talking about.
I knew that one would be popular. I've never seen it either, but I knew that one would get picked early.
Yeah.
Great movies, by the way. Really good.
Ricky,
movies.
you've seen them, haven't you?
I think I've seen like 1 out of the 8, but I know who he is, so I knew to be a part of it. So
John, I know you're a big fantasy guy. Are you a fan?
I am not. I've never seen. I went and saw one Harry Potter movie and I fell asleep. So thinking it wasn't that good of a movie.
what good?
Don't listen to John. They're not. They're good movies.
Super popular. So I mean, I agree.
If you like Lord of the Rings, would you like the Harry Potter movies?
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and I love the Harry Potter movies. They don't really go together so much.
Right.
I mean, like you can't really go and see one and be
I
expecting.
guess I meant like the sci-fi.
But
feel
yeah,
of
I mean,
it.
if you like Lord of the Rings, chances are, and you like that type of movie, chances are you're gonna like Harry Potter.
Okay. All right. Good pick. All right, Hunter. Second pick here.
All right. Well, my pick is still. This is the one I was. Which I knew this would probably come back around. I'd be surprised if anybody has this on their list. I thought about saving it, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. They just recently had a series about it. It's an older movie. Alfred Hitchcock came up with the first one, but just the sadistic mindset of Norman Bates. Bates Motel, Psycho, all that stuff, just the serial killer aspect. I mean, just him with the infatuation with his mother and just the sadistic mindset of Norman Bates is just mind-blowing. And if you've never seen Psycho or Bates Motel, I would highly recommend it because it's just mind-bending, honestly, like the thought process that Norman Bates puts on. And but it's an awesome character, awesome villain. And so I'll go Norman Bates with my second pick.
Yeah, it was on my list. I've not seen the movies, but I know super popular. Hunter's going with the horror movie Pennywise and Norman Bates here. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe a good way to go. All right, John, you're up next with your second pick. You got the Patriots in the first round. What are you going to go this second round?
So this is going to be a more recent TV series. It was really hot there for the longest time. This character he's been in a rotation of villains in this series, but I felt he was the best done, and it was the kind of the golden area for that show. But I'm going to go with the governor from The Walking Dead.
Good pick.
Yeah, it's just this guy that seemingly came from like a normal background, but then just, when the world went to hell, then all of a sudden he just turns into this super evil bad guy. And I loved the actor that portrayed him. I loved everything about him on the show.
Yeah, I watched like the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead, and it got a little too out there for me. But that's kind of when I stopped watching after like his involvement in the show. He was a great villain. There were some scenes there like. Because was it his daughter that he kept alive or whatever? Yeah, that was super weird. Yeah.
Such a good show.
Yeah,
such a good
It's
show.
an amazing show. Yeah.
Yeah, the first couple of seasons were great. Like I said, I think it got a little crazy. Like they had all these spin-offs and stuff, but I mean, super popular. So I mean, I know a lot of people really like them.
I'm trying to get it finished right now. I'm watching it on Netflix. I was watching it live when it was live, and I got out of it. But I'm like in season 8 right now, and trying to get caught back up. So.
All right, good pick, John. All right, Ricky, second pick here. You got Darth Vader in the first round. It's gonna be your second round pick.
Okay. This pick, to be completely honest, I'm shocked is still on the board because I could very easily see this as a first round pick. I love these movies. Again, going into the superhero aspects. I feel like this is one of the best villains around. You got to go with Thanos from the Avengers.
Good pick. I knew that. That's where you were going with that. I felt.
Yeah,
I'm honestly still on the board.
Yeah, I love those movies. Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: he kills. Never mind. I actually I've not seen the movie, but I was spoiled on. What was that? Was that Endgame? That's the last one, right?
That movie was amazing.
I need to go and watch it though.
Oh my God. It was unreal.
Yeah. All right. Good pick. All right, I've got 2 picks here, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go an animated villain first here. I feel this is the top animated villain, at least number 1 on my board. This is an older movie, 1994, if I'm not mistaken. I think one of the best Disney movies there is, and I think one of the saddest Disney movies there is. The villain I'm talking about is Scar from The Lion King.
I had it on my board.
Yeah, he kills his own brother, and then Simba goes there and he sees his dad. He's pushing on him and trying to get him to wake up. I mean, just a terrible, terrible villain. I think the worst Disney villain there is. So I got to go with Scar as my second pick here.
Good pick. Yep.
Yeah.
Had it on my
Hey,
board.
Tate, what do you think? Good pick or on your board?
Great pick. Yeah, on my board. Yeah, of course. You gotta have some Disney villains on there, and Scar is definitely one of the top ones. So yeah, good.
I would say he's the top. I'm with you, Alex. I think that's the first name that came to my mind when I thought of Disney villains.
Yeah. All right, my second
As a 90s kid.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. All right, second pick. I'm gonna go sports here, and there's probably it's not as probably as big today as it was in the 90s, but there's no player that was probably more hated, especially me being a UNC guy, than this guy from Duke. Talk about Christian Laettner. They made a 30 for 30 about him called "I Hate Christian Laettner." I got to go him as my villain. I mean, there's a lot to why he was a villain. You know, a lot of just Duke players in general. I mean, I could even name Grayson Allen as another example of that. Just the kind of cocky player like they were. So like I said, Christian Laettner, that was early 90s. I mean, great player.
How in the world did he get on that 92 Dream Team?
Oh, I know, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he was phenomenal at Duke for sure. I mean, the little turnaround jumper that he made there. I mean, great career at Duke. Didn't have the greatest NBA career, but as far as I think a villain in sports, he's the first one that comes to my mind. I mean, when you have a movie called "I Hate Christian Laettner," you got to say you're a villain. So, got to go Christian Laettner with my third pick here. All right, Ricky, you are up next with your third pick.
All right, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and go into the sports category here. I've got several here I can pick from, but one that's I guess right at the top of my list. This is a movie we've all seen. We grew up with. It's not necessarily one villain; it's a group of villains.
I know where you're going.
I think you have to go with the Monstars here of Space Jam. They tried to take on the second greatest player.
Oh my God!
Ultimately, they couldn't stop him.
He still squeezes it in.
But no, definitely top villains there. Just the overall movie, how they portrayed them. Got to go with the Monstars. So
I figured you'd pick that one somewhere in here. So yeah, no, it's a good pick, especially for you. So I agree. John, what do you think? You a Space Jam fan?
I was back in the 90s. I liked when they had the greatest player, Michael Jordan. I heard they're redoing it with someone that's lesser than. So I don't think it'll be as good, but
like the fourth greatest player in NBA history, fourth or fifth.
This guy in this new movie, there's no way his arm is going to stretch as far. There's no way.
No way. I agree.
Impossible.
No way.
He actually won't be taking the final shot. He'll be passing it off to somebody else. And then,
Buzz will be taking it.
All right, John, you got your third round pick here. You got the Patriots and the Governor from The Walking Dead. Who's going to be your third villain off the board?
So this villain is probably older than most of the people on this. I had 1,000 of these figures when I was a kid. It was my absolute favorite. And the voice actor for this character also did one of my other favorite villains. So I have Cobra Commander. from G.I. Joe. And the voice actor did Cobra Commander, and he did Starscream from Transformers, which is also one of my favorite villains.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have to go with this. I played with this so much as a kid.
You can tell John's a little bit older than the rest of us with that pick. I know I'm the second oldest here, so I mean I know he is. But Hunter, are you familiar with Cobra Commander?
No, I know who Joe is from G.I. Joe.
Do you know who Sergeant Slaughter is?
Sergeant Slaughter?
No. Never mind.
No, man, I feel bad now.
All right, good pick, John. Good pick. They're always good picks when it's something from your childhood, so good and nostalgic feel to it. All right, Hunter, from your childhood, which was 10 years ago, who's going to be your third round pick here?
Oh man. Okay. From my childhood, no. For my next villain, I've got a couple here from my childhood, but I think they're still going to be here. I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go a movie route. I'm going to stick with what I'm doing. I think it's going to be a winning scenario. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go Jaws here. The shark. He struck fear in kids all across, and their kids that watch those movies. Swimming pools, bathtubs, going to the beach. You never look at it the same since you've seen Jaws. You just never have. You wonder if you go too far out, there's a shark, yada, yada. So it's all thanks to Jaws that fear is in all of us deep down somewhere. We've seen Jaws. Yep. So I will go Jaws with my third pick.
I think it's a great pick. I mean, I 100% agree with you. I mean, no villain has struck fear into more children's or even adult lives than Jaws, I think. So
I know. Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing stories about kids that didn't want to get in the bathtub, after watching the movie Jaws and stuff like that. So I mean,
Tate, was that you?
I mean, he wasn't going to mention any names, but no, I do remember.
Trying to go incognito, but
funny story, the first time I saw that movie, it was actually, and I'm thinking to myself, why didn't my parents let me watch this for the first time, like a few weeks before going to the beach? So I'm like, I was terrified. Like, I didn't want to go to the beach after that. So,
oh man, and the crazy thing is in the first one, you never even see the shark. It's just from the camera from the shark perspective and stuff like that.
It's still awful. Like it's still haunting. Yeah. You go out in the ocean even now, and you're kind of like, it's in the back of your mind.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So that's honestly, that's a good dad hack. If you have small children and you don't like to go to the ocean, just some Jaws before you go. They won't want to go.
All right, kids, movie night. Grab your popcorn.
Yeah.
Save you money for years.
Yeah. All right, Tate, you got two picks here.
All right. Trying to decide which way I want to go here. All right, so I'm gonna go. Y'all got me feeling all nostalgic. I'm gonna go something from my childhood, as well. One of my favorite shows growing up. It's one of those things where turn on the TV Saturday mornings. It was always on. John, like you, I had all the figures, played with them all the time, loved them. Still popular even today. But I'm gonna go with Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice, good pick.
Nice.
Brad would absolutely love that pick. He's a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, so
yeah, they were definitely my favorites growing up. That and probably Batman and Spider-Man, those were probably my favorite as a kid. So my next pick, I'll kind of go with something a little more recent. The show's actually already been mentioned. I'm gonna go with a different villain from The Walking Dead. And I feel like this guy, I know some of you haven't seen the show, but those that have seen it, this guy is just a villain that you can't stand, but then there's just something about him that you kind of like. It's weird. So, and you can't really say that about a whole lot of villains, like, but mine is going to be Negan from The Walking Dead.
Love Negan.
Just a charismatic guy. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan, killed it. I don't think
literally he killed several people.
He killed a lot of people. I don't think the show did right with the whole scenario of the Saviors overall. I think they butchered it, but I think him as a character in the show and the way that he plays it is just excellent. So he's one of those guys, like, how can you even like him after everything that he's done? And for some reason, you still do, with all his little witty comments and things like that. He's just one of those guys that he's a villain, but you kind of like him for some reason. He does end up kind of redeeming himself too, but.
Yeah, he's the reason I stopped watching the show is after what he did in the scene in one of the first episodes he's in, and the characters he kills off and all that, and the way that they do it, I was like, I can't watch this anymore. It's too much.
Yeah. The show writers ruined it. But him and the character himself, I think, is excellent. But yeah, the show writers.
We're back after the spoiler alerts.
Yeah. We didn't mention names. Nobody knows anything. So.
Yeah, I didn't say who died. I just said people died.
I have seen him kill a few people, so I don't know if anyway.
I think he's kind of, and I've not seen the episodes. I have seen the major, I think, murder that he does on the show. One of the main characters from earlier on. And yeah, pretty intense. So I'm right there with you. All right, Hunter, you got your next pick here, 4th round.
All right, let's see. It's still the one I want is still there. So I'm just gonna. He's got a little. It's another one that, in my opinion, strikes fear in kids all throughout, especially in the 80s. Okay,
You're going all horror movies here.
Man, I am a sucker for 80s slasher movies. Let me tell you, and I'm telling you, it don't get any better than 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. I'm telling you, you hear that? 3, 4, better lock your door. I'm all about it, and you better never go to sleep because Freddy Krueger is there waiting on you. Yeah. And I think that's an amazing just amazing movie series and everything. Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, struck fear in kids all across. I wasn't too big on the newer ones that they came out with. But those classic Nightmare on Elm Streets were Robert Englund. I'm telling you, he kills it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was scared to death of Freddy Krueger as a child. So.
Yeah.
Oh, terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, even now you see a sweater and it's like that color and all that. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to your mind and stuff. And I mean, the little fingers. I mean, just all that stuff. It's just that's the first thing you think about is Freddy Krueger.
You better hope the voters love horror movies because you're going all in on the horror movies.
I love horror movies, so I kind of felt like I would lean that route. So, but yeah.
With as much as I know you like horror movies, there's 2 on here that I cannot believe you've not picked yet.
They're probably on my list. I mean, I don't know. Well, yeah.
But we'll see if somebody picks them. So.
Yeah.
All right, John, you're up next. I have a feeling this is about the time you're going to pick somebody off my list. But go ahead. You're up next with your 4th.
I'm not going to because I'll tell you why. I like this guy, and just in case he doesn't make it around a time or two, we've already mentioned the movie. I'm a huge fan of it. He's been able to be in, he has to be 7 movies now, either directly mentioned, been in, or has been loosely mentioned, and that is Emperor Palpatine. As a kid, the makeup they were able to do with him, the prosthetics and the shooting lightning out of his hand, he was a scary, scary dude as a kid. And then to be able to see him in the prequels, turning from someone that looked good to the ultimate bad, and then for him to even, be mentioned in the newest set of movies, and him still looking scary and having all this power. I loved Emperor Palpatine as a kid and love him now.
This is Star Wars, right?
Good pick, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've heard the name, but I
mean, if it wasn't for Palpatine, there'd be no Darth Vader. So
okay.
There'd be no Sith Lords. Yeah. So I mean,
right, yeah.
It all starts with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good pick, John. All right, Ricky, you got next pick here.
Okay. I'm going to go into the horror movies here. This is one that I could have very easily seen be picked in the first couple rounds as well. So I'm going to go ahead and steal it while I can. This was a series of movies, started back as early as I think the early 90s, even had some in the early 2000s. One of my favorite actors, he doesn't make any bad movies, Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter.
Good one. Yep. Solid pick. Had him on my list for sure. Was that one of the ones you were talking about, Root?
It actually wasn't.
Okay.
I'm surprised he wasn't picked yet, but yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is good in everything he does too.
Yeah.
I agree completely. Hey, did y'all ever end up watching Fracture? Anybody watch Fracture
I
yet?
haven't yet. I need to watch that though.
Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is amazing in Silence of the Lambs, that's for sure.
All right, so I've got 3 picks left. I'm going to save one for my last pick because I feel like I know that I can get it there. So I got to be really particular about these 2 picks here. I'm going to go reality TV for a second. For one of my villains. I'm a huge reality TV fan. My wife is sitting here with me. We watch a lot of reality TV shows.
I love Sharon.
Yeah, I love you too. So one of our favorite shows to watch, there's a couple. Big fans of Big Brother. There's some good villains there. Big fans of The Amazing Race. Not as many villains there. But probably my favorite, there's really 2 reality TV shows that I would consider my favorite. I don't know which one. Changes week to week. But right now, I'm going back and rewatching a lot of the old seasons on CBS All Access right now. And so every morning I get up and I go run on the treadmill and I watch an episode. And right now I went back and watched this guy's season 7 of Survivor. I got to go with Johnny Fairplay for my reality TV pick here. For those who don't know what Johnny Fairplay and why he's a villain, in his season of Survivor, they always have a family visit. And so I think it was his cousin comes in as the family that he had come out there. And he says, "Hey, how's grandma doing?" And he says, "Man, she passed away." And so he acts like he's crying. His grandmother was alive and well, but he lied to get sympathy so he could last longer in the game. He is the best villain ever in Survivor.
Wow.
Got to go Johnny Fairplay. I could have went with Richard Hatch from season 1. He's also another good villain. Russell Hantz from season 19. But got to go Johnny Fairplay. I think is the greatest reality TV villain just for that simple move right there. So that's going to be my 4th round pick, Johnny Fairplay. Does anybody know who Johnny Fairplay is besides me?
Yeah, I do, and I've never seen a full episode of Survivor or really any reality TV show. But when I heard what he did, and it was all over the Twitter sphere or internet or whatever it was back in that time, and I was just watching, I was like, oh my, like just the lengths people will go to just to win. That was amazing. Yeah, it was a great, and like so I'm going back and rewatching that season right now. I'm not got to that episode, but I think the most villainous move ever in Survivor. So, all right, my next pick here. This is where it gets really tricky. I could go another. There's another reality TV guy that none of you know that I could go with. I'll go ahead and mention him because I know no one knows who it is. But there's another villainous move. This guy, he was a pair with someone else on the show, and the very end of the show, they thought they were going to split the money, which was like I think $250,000. They won the show, but they because he was better in the last episode, he got to the choice of keeping all the money or splitting it with her, and he kept all the money, which is very villainous. So Johnny Bananas from The Challenge. I'm sure no one knows who that is, so I won't pick that one. But another reality TV. I'm a big reality TV guy, so. But I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go animated. I'm gonna go. There's really 2. All right, I'm gonna go from a video game actually for my 5th round pick here. I'm gonna go with the banana peel from Mario Kart as my villain. For those who play Mario Kart, you hate hitting the banana peel.
Slows you down so much.
So stupid. The turtle comes flying at you. There's no way to get around it. All the other different things you can shoot at people, but the banana peel, it's just sitting there. But you hit it, you spin out. There's no way to really come back from it usually.
You lose all your coins.
Villain. So
it's a very good pick, Alex. I didn't even think about that. That's a good pick.
Sharon hates the pick. She doesn't care about it whatsoever. But yeah, banana peel from Mario Kart is going to be. I think that's the first video game villain I think we've mentioned so far. But so banana peel is going to be my pick.
That's a good one.
All right, Ricky, you are up next.
All right. I'm going to go back into the sports theme here, and this may be kind of out there as far as a pick goes, but I think I'll have a lot of people agree with me out there. So I'm going to go with the college football here. This man, you have to respect him because he's the greatest football coach.
On his eyes, there he knows who it is.
You have
That's
to
my pick.
huh?
Keep going. This was my pick. Keep going.
But you do have to respect him. He's the greatest of all time. I'm sure he's going to get more championships under his belt. He's always there at the top every single year. You got to go with
Butch
Nick.
Jones.
Yes, wait for him. Yes,
Arkansas State. Yeah, boy.
Nick Saban.
I'm telling you, he has single-handedly ruined college football.
Wow. Wow.
Nick Saban. What'd you say? Butch Jones? No, not Butch Jones.
Man, can you imagine how good he'd be in the NFL?
Yeah. He was so great with the Dolphins. Yeah, so elaborate on that, Hunter, why he's ruined college football. I mean, that's a pretty famous thing.
I mean, now there is so much. There's no way you see players. He owns 2 or 3 dealerships down there in Tuscaloosa. There's players all the time. There's benefits out the yin yang that are given players that are given. You've got players that are I think Trent Richardson. I mean, I just one off the top of my head. It's a famous picture of him. It's like a brand new Dodge Charger that he is standing up. You know, it was his car and all this stuff. And ironically, Nick Saban owns a Dodge Chrysler dealership down there. It's so, dude, it is so freaking. But I'll tell you, Alabama makes NCAA money, and that's why he'll never be touched. You won't convince me otherwise.
Here's a question, Hunter, and I would ask the same for myself as a Michigan fan. If you could get him as your head coach, would you?
Don't ask me. The state that as a Tennessee fan, the state that I'm in, yes, I just want to win. I don't care.
Yeah. I take him in a heartbeat. So
I tell you another thing. I mean, as villainous as Nick Saban is, I mean, I think the most villainous thing he's done is he gets COVID and then the next day he gets to coach. No other person can do that. Other than
I'm telling you, it's a Nick Saban. It's an Alabama thing. We could do a whole show on Alabama football. I'll be dead serious.
Yeah. All right. Good pick, Roop. All right, John, you're up here with your 5th round pick.
So I am going to stay in the sports lane, and I actively could not wait to see this individual with this team lose every finals. I couldn't stand the way he did it. I think he's the inferior Michael Jordan. LeBron James, specifically when he played with the Heat and when he went to the Heat, I could not stand them. And I'm pretty sure I'll win just based off of this because everyone hated when he went to the Heat.
Yeah. He began the super teams. I agree. That's a very villainous move.
Technically, he did not, though.
I knew that was coming.
Are you going to go this?
Do what?
You going with the Celtics as the first super team?
Yeah, honestly, they probably were. If you look back on it,
I hated the Celtics so bad.
Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
On the starting 5.
Oh, yeah.
Ron never had 4 Hall of Famers on the starting 5 of any team that he's played with.
But the difference is LeBron is actively out there
yeah.
colluding and saying, hey, come here, and recruiting himself and other players. Like those guys, they were like, it was behind closed doors if they did that, if that even happens.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was the announcement and the ESPN tune in at 7:00 to hear where he's going. And then for an hour, it was just talking about all the different places he could go and what a great person he was. And then, at the end, I'm going to Miami and, oh, by the way, I'm signing because there's going to be 2 other All-Stars. And it just was, basically I can't win this on my own. So let me go somewhere else where I can have someone that will help.
I loved LeBron until he went to the Heat and sold out. I mean, he's a sellout.
That's him with Durant. I love Durant until he went to the Warriors.
So
sellout. I can't stand that.
This last thing I'll say on LeBron James. Yeah, the way he went about it was not a good way, I guess. But one thing you have to admire about him, though, in my opinion, he could care less who he offended. Like he could care less about being politically correct. He did it the way he wanted to. He stood by it, and he still is the best player year in and year out. from day one coming out of high school. He's lived up to all the hype. So regardless of what people think of him, he keeps his head up and just moves right along. So that's
I
a good.
saw a quote the other day that he's the Michael Jordan of not being as good as Michael Jordan.
We'll see. Yeah, we could have a whole conversation on this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We'll save that for the top athletes draft that we do here in a few weeks. So see if LeBron James goes number 1. All right, Hunter, you're up next here with your 5th round pick.
All right, man.
Are you going to stick with the horror movies or not here?
Here in the last couple rounds, a couple picks that I've wanted have been taken. Ricky, do I still have a pick on your board that I should pick?
You still have the 2 that I was saying that still
Okay. I kind of thought you maybe thought Nick Saban was one of mine or whatever. So, okay. But, okay, for my 5th pick, I'm going to go animated movies here. What animated movies? Okay, and you run into an old lady that hates puppies and wants their fur. I'm going to go Cruella de Vil as my 5th round pick because I love puppies. And she loves them for the wrong reasons.
She does. If only they'd been golden retrievers, this would have been a 1st round pick if it was.
Oh, without a doubt. With golden retrievers and labs, yeah, without a doubt, it would have been a 1st round pick.
Yeah, labs,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you think of Disney, Pixar villains, I think she's in the top 3. Probably.
Definitely.
There's one other one that's not been picked yet that I think is in that top 3.
I agree. Yeah, there's 3. There's literally when I thought of animated Disney villains, 3 people popped up. 2 of them have been mentioned. I'll wait and see if one of the other one will be mentioned in the last few picks.
Yeah. All right, good pick there. All right, Tate, you got 2 picks here to end your draft. You've got Bane, Lord Voldemort, Shredder, and Negan. What's gonna be your last 2 picks?
So this pick, I feel like I've got to go something like more superhero here. I don't have any superhero villains, and I would just feel bad if I left this draft without some sort of super villain on here. So I'm actually, since all the main ones are taken, this is my favorite superhero. It's coincidentally it's my son's favorite superhero now, and this was the guy that when you say the superhero's name, you immediately think of. So the superhero is Spider-Man. So I'm going to go with Venom as my villain.
Nice.
I mean, nothing was more terrifying than seeing Venom, with the tongue and the claws and the, just, it was crazy. And the cartoon version, I think, is way better than what they did with the movie version several years ago. But
he's the coolest looking villain there is.
Oh yeah, very very cool. And then even in the movie that he got, his standalone movie, I thought was pretty good.
I was gonna say, did you like the new movie with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, I did like it.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, good pick, Tate. All right, last pick here for you. How you gonna end your draft?
And this is, I mean, my home run pick. I mean, I knew no one would take it. But it's something that everybody knows. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter who you are, whether you like Disney or you don't like Disney. But this pick, I mean, it's just, I think it's going to win the draft for me. And this villain is going to be the guy / hunter that killed Bambi's mom. So nothing's worse than that guy. I mean, come on. Like,
that's a good pick, man.
The beginning of that movie, and then bam, Bambi's mom gone. It's sad. It's very comparable to Scar and when he kills Simba, Mufasa, and so you've got Simba there. But yeah, the hunter that killed Bambi's mom.
And we don't even know what he looks like either.
Yeah, no.
Completely off the screen.
He got away, and no one knows. So you can't even hold him accountable.
He's still on the loose.
Right. Like, I don't even think he came back and did it for meat. Like, I think he was just he didn't do it for food. Like, he was just being mean, I think.
Oh, I agree.
Just for kicks and giggles.
Yeah. I mean, he's a terrible guy.
He may even have been Cruella de Vil. And
yeah. So,
we don't know.
Honestly, I mean, I had to go out of the box pick here, and I just think that guy's a jerk. So
I agree.
I think it's a good pick. Good pick. I don't know if it will win you the draft,
I think it will.
but I think it's a
I've
good
already.
heartstrings.
I'll vote for Tate based off of that alone.
pick. All right, Hunter, here's your last pick.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with my script here. I'm going to go back to what I feel will win me the draft, and villains. Going back to the kids, man. You get a hold of the kids. I mean, it ruins things for generations and generations because they're going to pass it on to their kids. I'm going to go with a little doll named Chucky.
Oh,
I mean, it's so innocent, it's so playful, and even today, there's movies that have branched off of the Chucky series based off little dolls and things like that come to life. Chucky had a lot to do with all that stuff going forward, and I think it was one of those turning point movies. Like I said, the '80s had several of those, but I mean, a little child's toy, completely innocent, completely flips the switch and turns into a killer. So I will go with Chucky as my last pick.
Good pick.
yeah, that's another one of those that that was popular when I was a kid, and definitely scares you a little bit. And it wasn't just the Chucky doll. Like I would see other little dolls like that, and it was like, oh yeah, that thing would come alive and kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Ricky, you a fan of Chucky?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
Dude.
But I know the character and I know all about him, but yeah, I don't think I've actually ever seen the movie. But that's
There was a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like the second one was the best one. I might be wrong on that.
There's a few. I think there's more than just 3, but crazy turn of events. He's actually coach of the Las Vegas Raiders now. It's crazy.
He grew up to not be so bad after all.
But Hunter, I will tell you, and which we'll see at the end of the draft, out of all 6 picks, there were still 2 picks that I could have swore you would pick, and you didn't pick them.
I know. And we'll wait, and I'll say it in my honorable mentions because I think I know where you're going, at least for one of them, and we'll see if it's it.
Yeah.
All right, John. Here's your last pick. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn. I've got a couple different options here. I love this episode. I love his episodes. I love the series Breaking Bad, one of my favorite series. I love the actor. He's now the lead bad guy in my current favorite series, Mandalorian. It's going to be Gus Fring. It's Giancarlo Esposito. He is so good at the completely normal on the surface, but then you kind of see that mask slip and you see just how evil he is. I loved his character. I love the last scene he's in, and I love Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah, good pick. The not to spoil it for anyone, but the nursing home scene in Breaking Bad with him is insane. So
One of the greatest scenes I think I've seen on TV show ever.
a little unrealistic, definitely unrealistic, but it was
A little bit.
Yeah. All right, good pick, John. All right, Ricky, your last pick here.
Okay. I'm going to finish my draft off. There's really a number of different ways I could go here, and I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm just going to go with my gut. So I'm going to stay in the sports category here. This guy, probably a lot of us, never really, I guess, grew up with him because he played earlier, back in the 70s and 80s. But this is arguably the greatest baseball player in the history of the game. This guy is the all-time hits leader with 4,256 hits. Nobody that plays active today is even close to him. He's the only player that has played more than 500 games at 5 different positions. He's played all 9 positions. Pete Rose.
Yeah.
He bet on the game. That's been his big downfall. I personally think he should be allowed to get in the Hall of Fame now. Who knows if that's ever going to happen? But I think
if he would have played, in my opinion, if he would have played in today's era and done what he done, he would have been in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, good pick. I've met him a couple times actually in Las Vegas. He always he signs autographs at the same spot like every day. Like that's his life now, is going to this one place and signing autographs like 3 or 4 times a week. And
I was assuming you were going to see him in a casino.
That may be why he lives there. I'm a Reds fan. I'm not a huge Reds fan, so I definitely like Pete Rose. So good pick there. All right. Y'all ready to lose the draft? Because I've got a pick here that I guarantee will win the draft for me. I've got a few.
You're not going to go double banana peel, are you?
No. I've got a few picks here I could go with. You know, I thought about going with the dirtiest player in the game. I could go with the nature boy Ric Flair here. I mean, one of the greatest villains of all time, but I'm not going to go that route. You know, I could go with the New Orleans Saints with Bounty Gate and all that they did, but I don't think that would win me the draft. I'm going to go with something that has impacted all of our lives.
Oh, gosh.
It is the worst villain of 2020. I'm going coronavirus as my villain in the 6th round.
How did I not even think of that?
Yeah, shut it down. That one.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
Now, if you guys feel that should be vetoed, I'll let you vote on it. But
I feel like that's a given.
Yeah,
Coronavirus right up there with
it's
Satan.
COVID, Satan, tomato.
So if I don't win this draft with that pick,
Yeah,
the recency bias, I mean, it's got it.
yeah, that's true.
I was going to go with Carol Baskin, but I thought COVID might edge her out. So,
If we had done this back in March, Carol Baskin would have won by a landslide.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if you had COVID and Carol Baskin, you're going to win anyway. But
it was
I'm
really
telling you what.
really between two picks here. I was going to go with COVID, or I just watched this documentary, and I feel like this is another big villain in the United States. Maybe not as well known as being a villain, but it's definitely, I think, even worse than COVID. But the United States makes up 5% of the world's population, but 75% of the world's prescriptions are given in the United States. Big Pharma would be another villain, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
In the country. So
Yeah, but they
kill
kill
more
people.
people
I don't
than
know about
anyone.
that.
So what's that, John?
I said, yeah, but they killed a bunch of people. I thought we were not going to
That's
go
true.
with that.
That's true. That's true. All right. So that is our draft here. Let's go over some honorable mentions. Hunter, you got a couple?
Yeah. Okay, Ricky, is one of the ones that you thought I would say was Lex Luthor.
No.
Okay. Okay, on my honorable mention list, I had Jason Voorhees left.
That was one.
I had Michael Myers left. That was the two?
That was the two.
Okay. Yeah, both of them were on my list. And I also had Jack Torrance. That character in The Shining is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good picks. Ricky, you got any honorable mentions?
Yeah, actually, I was considering going with this on my last pick, but I was going to go with the Wet Bandits. From,
yeah, great pick.
I think if you look at Drago from Rocky, I was even considering the Grinch.
That was Sharon's pick.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, he stole Christmas.
Huh?
I mean, he stole Christmas. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, that's true. And I had the banker, actually. I had the banker off of It's a Wonderful Life.
Mr. Potter. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Potter.
Wicked Witch of the West.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Good picks there. Tate, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I didn't mention any sports ones in mine. So I had, of course, Alex Rodriguez, Joe Buck, the world's worst.
I hate Joe Buck. Yeah.
Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I had Cersei Lannister. I'm surprised no female villains got picked.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Cersei Lannister was on there. Jeffrey Baratheon was on there. But yeah, no, my sports ones I didn't end up using, but I was really going to go Joe Buck, but I was afraid too many people wouldn't know who he was. But gosh, he's awful.
Oh, he is awful. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Another sports one that wasn't picked, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's one that people really hate. John Rocker. I figure Tanya Harding.
Yeah. Another world peace.
Yeah. I thought Ricky might pick those, but I about went with the late 80 Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys.
Yeah, the Bad Boys were on my list too. Yeah.
John, what about you? Any honorable mentions?
Yeah, so Hunter basically had the horror movie kind of wrapped up. So I would have said Michael Myers. I also had Detroit Pistons on here. I love Two-Face, at least the Aaron Eckhart version off of Batman. It's a recent series. It's still going on. It's on Netflix. Ozarks. There's a character, Darlene Snell.
Yes.
She is a very, very bad person. I love her. For Disney movies, I loved Jafar as a kid. And then let me see. I had one other. Yeah, okay. I figured you would have gone with this one, Alex. Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
The greatest heel turn of all time.
As a kid, as a big Sting fan, to always to see Hogan get his comeuppance was amazing.
Oh yeah. That was a great moment for those who are mine and John's age. We were kids in 1996 when Hogan turned heel. That was a big deal back in the day, the NWO.
Didn't Sting just come back and do something, or he was in something, or?
Yep. 60.
Yeah.
Oh, Sting came back?
Out there on a walker, just about.
Yeah.
I was a big Sting fan when I was a kid, so I'll check that out. Here's a couple other picks that I had. As far as movies, I wanted to fit those in that I just never could, but Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah.
He was a great villain. Biff from Back to the Future.
Yes.
Good villain. As far as TV, I think this was mentioned Tate, you may have mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Nina Myers from 24. Was that you who mentioned that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who it was, but from the show 24, the first season, she was worked with Jack Bauer. Maybe Ben talked about her, maybe, but she would be one. Boyd Crowder from Justified was a good villain. Gordon Ramsay, the chef, he was a good one. And then, so I mentioned earlier, there were 3 animated or Disney villains. I felt Scar was one, and I felt Cruella de Vil was one. The third one that I had was Alonzo from Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay.
He was, a terrible person. So he was.
I had Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bowser from Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it was on my list.
Villain on video games. And then the Ghost from Pac-Man. I mean, they were pretty terrible.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Alex, one you might appreciate as well from Dexter, the Trinity Killer.
Oh, yeah. That was a great
I had that on my list. Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah.
Dave Puff Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was a good one too. All right. I think we've got all the villains down. So good draft. I hate that you guys are all going to lose to coronavirus. But
We've been losing to coronavirus all year, man.
Yeah. What's new?
Yeah. So, all right, Hunter, you get the picks next week. Get to pick the draft topic and the guest. Any ideas on where you're going next week?
I don't actually. I will have that information by tomorrow, though, for sure.
Greatest UT football coaches since 2009.
Oh, yeah. We'll all get a bevy of picks in that genre. Plenty to go around.
Plenty.
What about games UT should have won?
That's a long list, too.
If you add Virginia Tech and Tennessee into that, like you can have a plethora of picks. Like
Well, that's a 2-hour draft right there.
yeah.
And throw in Michigan while we're at it too.
Yeah, hey, throw in Michigan. You're good.
Hey,
Those 3 teams alone. We could even add on a couple of guests.
I mean, it's pretty bad when the best team out of all of our teams is my team. UNC actually is playing better than all of those teams.
Oh, they're great right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They just thrashed Miami.
yeah. All right, good deal. Appreciate it, guys. John, thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week, and looking forward to that. So appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again, Alex, for doing this.
Yep. See you guys.
Hey, Bells.
See ya.